All right. I'm gonna call this special meeting of the City of Holiday Island to order. This is a special meeting, August 10th, 2022. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Pittman.
Here.
Councilmember Mills. Absent. Councilmember Graves.
Here.
Councilmember Elwood.
Here.
Councilmember Dumas.
Here.
4 members present. Mr. Mayor.
That constitutes a quorum. So, this is a special meeting, so the only thing we're gonna do on the agenda is what the special meeting was called for. That's to consider a road repair quote. Just for the record, along State Line Drive, approximately 100 yards towards the north of where the big landslide was a few years ago that we had, as HICID had repaired with the help of FEMA money. There's a culvert that goes through underneath State Line Drive to take the water coming down the hill from the right-hand side of the road as you're going north, across the road and down into the creek bed. And that culvert isn't big enough to take the water when we get those 5-inch gully washers in the spring, and which means the water, some of the water just runs over the top of the road, and over time it has washed the ditch bank away on the exiting side of the road for that, around that culvert. And it's a pretty steep drop down about, I'm going to say about 10 feet probably from the road surface down to the bottom of the washout area. It's already starting to encroach underneath the paved part of the road just slightly, but it needs to be addressed, like now, certainly before next spring. State line, that is part of the State Line Drive that the city is now responsible for. And this is an extraordinary maintenance item that's not covered under our normal maintenance agreement with the district. So the amount isn't sufficient enough that we were required to go out for competitive bids, but we did get bids from 2 different companies, Rock and W Excavating and Excavation Eureka. Rock and W came in with a bid of $8,375, and Eureka, Excavation Eureka's bid is $6,800 to do basically the same work. What they're going to do is haul as much as it takes of riprap, a big coarse rock, in fact, I think he calls it ditch lining shot rock, and he figures 4 loads of that to go in, and then they're gonna pour concrete over the top of it and just let the concrete flow, kind of free flow into the rocks and stuff to bind them together and make sure that some of it, sufficient amount of it, flows underneath the road to make sure that that doesn't erode anymore. So I want to get this guy going, but this would we have $15,000 budgeted for this year for maintenance. Most of that would have gone to the district at the end of the year for the maintenance contract. So this might put us over a little bit on our maintenance budget for the year, which is why I wanted to get council approval. And then later this fall, we'll pass a ordinance amending the budget accordingly when we figure out what we're gonna need for the rest of the year. So I would entertain one other bit of information. You can see firsthand the kind of work that Excavation Eureka does. If you're driving down Holiday Island Drive right before you get to the fire station, if you're heading towards 23, the house on the right-hand side, Jackie and Mark Todd's house, they did extensive dirt work around there when they replaced their decks and stuff, and they built a retaining wall.
Is that the one right before the fire station?
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, it's evidence, I think, that they know what they're doing, because they did, it was quite a construction project to put a retaining wall in there and backfill with the dirt and create actually 2 different driveways out to the road. So I would entertain a motion that we spend $6,800 to get that repair going.
Do we need to approve the agenda first?
Publish an agenda.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move we approve the agenda first.
I'll second it.
Linda made a motion to approve the agenda and Pat seconded it. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? The agenda is approved. Now I'll entertain a motion to accept your Excavation Eureka's bid for $6,800.
I'll move that we spend the $6,800 with Excavation Eureka to repair state lines shoulder problem.
I'll second it.
Okay, Lynn made a motion and Linda seconded it. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The agreement, you said this type of repair is not covered under the maintenance agreement with ISO. So when we took over, as they ran the street to us, all the underlying conditions, the water lines, what all, anytime one of them springs a leak, we're gonna be responsible for that?
No, I'd have to go back and reread the contract, but I think we included in the contract that whoever makes the road cut is responsible for repairing the road cut.
Was there evidence that was eroding and leaking before
I'm sure it's been going on for years, but we didn't do any inspection or anything before we accepted the road, so maybe shame on us for not doing that, but it's ours now, in my opinion. Any other discussion?
Well, I'll just say this one thing, if the district had knowledge that was an issue and conveyed that to us without notification, at the very least, they ought to share the cost of repairing it.
I think that I don't think that they were aware of what was going on there too, or either. They saw it when they were mowing the ditches. You can't see it just driving by. You have to be right on the edge of the road, looking over the edge to see it.
They were the ones that brought it to your attention.
The new road superintendent made me aware of it. Any other discussion?
It'll come out of the street fund money.
All right. I don't think this requires a roll call vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Pat, did you vote aye?
Yeah, I said aye.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
if this happens again, we're gonna have to, I'm trying to find the original contract.
Okay, it's got 3 ayes, so it passes. All right, I guess I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
I'll move we adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We're adjourned.
So we've got 20 minutes to.
We'll